And the question came, it was just saying, hey, I'm a one-man operation. My biggest issue right now is getting the phones to ring. And we all run into it at some point in our career, whether it's, hey, we hired too many people, now we don't have enough jobs, it's shoulder season, I want to talk today about leads and how and when and where we should really be focusing marketing, how to drive just making the phone ring. Specifically, you want to start, John, or at least the 0 to 1 million, what you think?
I think I'll give like a quick philosophy. On one hand, it's easier to drive leads for a one-man business than a bigger business because all you need is 2 or 3 leads. One of the things that we care about the most in our business is capacity. A lot of our time is spent trying to resolve capacity constraints. And that capacity constraint could be number of call takers for our inbound calls or number of installers for our sold work. Or it's almost every different part of the business has like this new constraint that prevents it from growing. Having too few people is a big constraint. I personally find it much more difficult to drive leads for one person than 3, because the issue is like, what happens if someone's sick? What happens if they're on vacation? Like, you need capacity. You need to be able to overflow. And if you're just one guy, then if you sell a job, then you don't need leads tomorrow. But then the next day you need leads. And then you sell something. So then you don't need leads the next day. And it's the on-off switch of leads that makes it complicated. Because if you just needed 3 leads a day, that's actually kind of an easy problem to solve. The different things to do there. It's the ebb and flow of like, oh, I sold something, now I'm busy, now I don't need leads, now I do need leads, now I don't need leads.
Especially in HVAC, right? You naturally have that ebb and flow, but people aren't waiting 2 to 3 days. If you have an install, they're not waiting 2 days for you to get out there to do service work, which then leads to another install. So you're actually, we had this issue before we separated our crews, is that we were shooting ourselves in the foot tomorrow to solve today's capacity, which is something you naturally do, I think, as your business progresses. I mean, I think that's the first problem to solve even before you have leads, is making sure, I've said this before, that you have that capacity resolving plan, whether that be subs for install. You're going to sub out all packaging installs. You find that person, they're going to do all the ductwork, sub install, et cetera, or you hire out for that position, because you can't do both at the same time.
Or like how you think about the type of work you accept. And this is where I see people make the most mistakes. I think the point that I'm trying to make here, let's determine if you actually have a leads problem or if the way you're running your business sucks. Because like, those are 2 different problems. If you don't stop the behavior that got you into this situation in the first place, if you're still taking a month-long new construction job because you can't like get your head out of your butt and just think for a second that, hey, this is a problem, more leads will break you. If you have 4 slots a day, you go on Facebook, you join every Facebook group, you go on Nextdoor, you join every group. There's even softwares that aggregate it for you. You just get 4 leads a day. You can hire someone in the Philippines to comment back, send your schedule, I'll be there in an hour. Like, you don't even need Google. Like, it is so easy to get 4 leads a day as long as that's what you actually need. If the schedule's empty today, then you have time. Go knock on a door. If your schedule's empty tomorrow, do Facebook groups, because that probably takes 24 hours. If it's next week, like, let's work on Google. But like, those 3 things should be enough to keep a one-man show busy. I don't even think it's worth doing paid advertising at all until you figure out your behavior, scheduling, and capacity problems. Because all you're going to do is you're going to pay for LSA leads, and you're not going to have the openings to run them because you're going to be on some 2-week project.